welcome to the first episode of Eradication Talk. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time, and with the pandemic going on still, I really wanted to focus on a few things. This podcast is mainly going to be about self-help, like focusing on mental health, but it's also going to have episodes that's going to be real, gritty discussions, real world discussions that a lot of people just can't really talk about. So, if the topic of a video is going to be graphic of any sort, then there's going to be like a trigger warning at the beginning of every video that does. But this is basically just like the first episode to kind of get it kick-started and see where it goes, see what happens, and hopefully it turns into something more. So, this topic today is going to be something more about getting help and or helping a loved one. We know that it is hard sometimes. Like, it's hard to be able to reach out and get help, but it's also hard to reach out and try to help somebody else because they have to want the help first. The month of May was actually Mental Health / Illness Awareness Month. So it's, during the month of May, it's actually whenever I kickstarted my website, Eradication Wellness. And that website, it comes with resources that you can use if you feel like you need help. There's a self-help support group, or there's a support group that's virtual that people can log on to on a specific day and, just be able to vent, talk it out, maybe ask for advice. You never know. You could always learn from somebody else. Sometimes it's just easier to talk to a group of peers who are going through the same thing than it is to speak to like a therapist or a certified counselor. However, it's always a good thing to have a therapist and or a counselor. In May was the soft launch of Eradication Wellness. It's not very popular yet, but I'm kind of hoping that changes with the publication of my podcast. It's something that I really feel passionate about because mental health is something that I've experienced, or mental illness. Like I've suffered from anxiety and PTSD and depression and bipolar disorder, and like most therapists just want to or not really therapists, but psychiatrists just want to shove medications down your throat, and I just don't think that that's really a good thing to do, because you end up really having more breakdowns than you need, and you end up being hospitalized, and it's not a fun time. So by focusing on our mental health, it kind of helps us prepare for the long run. And you don't even have to be diagnosed to have to get help. It's good to get help even before you need it, so then that way you have the coping mechanisms to deal with it when and if that happens. So yes, getting help is the first step to feeling better. I definitely believe that. And it's easy to talk yourself in circles whenever you don't even know which way you need to go. I'm horrible at that. Like, I will not really make myself, but I will literally watch myself fall into a pit of pity, and I'll make every excuse for myself not to do something to do better. It's so easy to, talk yourself down deeper into the pit, which is not a good thing, than it is, if you involve somebody who cares. By getting help, though, by getting help, you're more likely to learn how to handle things in a healthier manner. So, instead of breaking down, gaslighting situations and stuff because of your mental illness, you can actually learn to recognize these things that happen before they become a major issue. And you can do things to stop yourself from heading towards that breakdown. And usually the person who needs the help has to actually want it for it to work. It takes commitment. Like, the commitment that you have to put forth to getting better is something that you really have to feel in your heart. You have to actually want the help, to actually get the help and retain the help and actually learn and process and move forward. Otherwise, you're just overloading on information and then jumping out there and saying that you're okay when you're really not. You're literally digging yourself into a deeper pit. So now, the most important thing, or the next thing that we need to talk about would be how to get the help you or loved one needs. And there's a few ways that you can do that. And you have, there's not any right way to do it. You got to look for the signs to reach out or get help. And I know that's easier said than done if you're the one who has the mental health issue, but it's like you have to be able to recognize the things before they happen, if you know what I'm saying. There's a really interesting blog on eradication wellness that I posted that actually helps you. It kind of actually lists some of the signs to look out for. Even it could apply to yourself or to a loved one. If it's a loved one that needs help, that you can look at this blog and it'll help you kind of realize, okay, my mom is doing this and that and this. Maybe I should try to reach out and ask her if she wants help. Or if you're afraid that they're going to react negatively to asking if they need help, then sometimes it helps by just reaching out and asking them, like, hey, let's go get a coffee, or hey, let's go get our nails done, or something, to help distract that person, to get their mind off of what's happening in their head. If it is an immediate emergency, you have to call 911, or your emergency line. It's imperative, actually, because there's so much that can happen if you don't get the proper help. If a loved one is if you walk in on a loved one who's literally harming themselves, call 911. I urge you. If it's something if it's something where there's self-mutilation and it's really messy, or if they've just taken a whole bunch of medication or anything like that, it's imperative to get help, medical help, emergency help, as soon as possible, because you never know what they could have taken, what else they could have done, or anything. It's just best to get medical responders involved ASAP at that point. Because if something does go wrong and you decided that you're going to try to take it into your own hands, then that pins it on you, and that can look bad on you. So not just to avoid the legal repercussions that could happen, it's just best because you care about that person anyway, because you can stop them from ending their life, and hopefully they can get the help to realize that it's not the end. Now, I also would like to refer everybody to eradicationwellness.com for this reason, because there's a list of hotlines that I have on there that can help anybody. Specifically, if you're a veteran suffering from PTSD, or the suicide awareness hotline, the mental health awareness hotline. There's so many things that you can do, even if you if you say you can't leave. I mean, there's so many different places or things you can call, you can text, you can chat. There's just a lot of resources out there. So if you feel like you can't process a lot of information and you're overwhelmed, then you can use these resources. You don't even have to involve anybody else if you need the help and you're just desperate for help. You don't even have to involve any other person. You don't even have to involve someone that you know. It could just be somebody on this hotline. Now, there's also a safety plan on eradicationwellness.com, and how you make a safety plan. I thoroughly think that everybody needs to make a safety plan, even if you've never had to plan, or even if there was never an emergency situation for yourself. It's still a good idea to have. I literally have a blog on there with an attached safety plan, so people can download it to their computers. And you can type in it on a PDF, or you can just save it and copy it on a piece of paper. But even in the blog, it step by step explains how you can build this safety plan, so that way if you are in an emergency situation, then you can follow the proper steps to get the help that you need. when you follow that plan, then it should be able to help you become more aware of how you feel and what you can do to lessen the amount of episodes or the length of episodes, or so on. Now, statistics one study shows that hospitalizations decreased significantly after implementation of safety plans, which is crazy because just using this one simple piece of paper that you yourself can create without having to even involve anybody else really is amazing. Now, there is a section on the safety plan where you list people that you can call that will help if you need the help. Generally as 1 to 2, maybe 3 people. I have 2 on mine, and that's the 2 that I absolutely trust with anything to do with my life. But I do agree, like, if you make a safety plan and you stick to it and you follow it, then you learn, like, the order. You learn, like, the flow. You can notice things. You're like, oh, okay, so this time, whenever this happened, I felt this way. And, it really helps so you know exactly what you can do to jump into action. 47%, there was a 47% reduction of psych ER visits when a safety plan was utilized. And then there's a 69% reduction in inpatient hospital stays. So, if 69% of people ended up not going into inpatient because they follow their safety plan, so they were able to stop their episodes or their breakdowns before they even happened. There's a lot of really good articles on eradication wellness that I believe that a lot of you guys should check out because it's super awesome and super informative, and I'm slowly building to it, and I just literally can't wait to finally have more people involved. With my own experience of things, like, I've been hospitalized maybe I think 3 times, and each time, well, the 2 times it was my own say, and then one time it wasn't. One time it was an actual overdose. But I didn't learn about safety plans until this last year when I started doing therapy again. And I realized, though, how critical it is. I can't even explain, how much it has helped me. Just because as soon as I feel like I'm slipping, I can either call my husband, call my best friend, and they know exactly what to do to snap into it and help me and pick me right back up. And next thing you know it, I'm stable again. I'm fine. I feel good. It's a good feeling. So, I really feel that, more and more of these episodes I'm going to start doing, either talking about something else with mental health that might focus on depression or anxiety. Let me know in the comments if you think, or what else you want to hear about. If you want to hear about anything like a gritty topic of some sort, let me know in the comments. I am looking forward to doing these podcasts every week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I really hope, because this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I really enjoy talking, and I really enjoy talking about topics that you don't normally see talked about. It's really important. So if you're interested in being a part of Eradication Talk or Eradication Wellness, please reach out and let me know. I'm super excited. I want to work with people. I want to turn this podcast into something a lot cooler, something that's, where I normally have another person here so we can actually talk about things a lot easier, and it helps educate a lot more people. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope that you guys continue to tune in. Let me know. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, whatever you gotta do. But thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys again soon. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Eradication Talk. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time, and with the pandemic going on still, I really wanted to focus on a few things. This podcast is mainly going to be about self-help, um, like focusing on mental health, but it's also going to have episodes that's going to be